You're listening to the Spark Your Light podcast, where my mission is to help you create a life that sparks a light inside of you. And this is episode number 305, From Vision Board to Real Life. What actually worked for me? We talk a lot about vision boards on this podcast. I'm a huge advocate for them. I teach vision board workshops, especially at colleges across the country. Maybe you've even been in attendance in one of those. And creating the vision board is such a fun thing. But I think that people think that that's the point. And the point is actually making the vision board reality, right? And so I want to talk about things out of all the manifestation hacks and all of the things I've tried, things that actually work and have worked for me not just once, but time and time again, and helped me manifest many of the things on my vision boards since I started making vision boards over a decade ago. So I have 4 things that stood out to me as the top 4 things that have really helped me bring my vision boards to life. And so I hope these 4 things inspire you to help bring your vision board to life. So the first thing is belief that it's possible for me. If you put something on your vision board and you think, this might be possible for someone else, but for me, I don't know. Or can I really achieve that? Like, it's possible, but it's a huge stretch. Or does it feel like, yeah, that's meant for me? I know it sounds so crazy. I'm almost embarrassed to say it out loud, but I know inside that that's meant for me. You have to get yourself to that place first about anything on your vision board. If you're not at that place, you need to work on that self-belief that you're capable, that you're meant for more, that why not you? You're just as good as anyone else to achieve these things, right? If someone else can do it, you can too. You have to really work on that self-belief until you get to a place where you believe that, like, heck yes, this is possible for me. That's how you want to feel about the things on your vision board. That is number 1. That has to come first. Number 2, and this is not typical manifestation advice, which is why I thought it was so important that it was included, a willingness to do whatever it takes. I think that in the world of manifestation, there's a lot of talk about ease and flow. And these things are important. I think that sometimes we make things way harder than they need to be. I think that we fight against where we're being guided often. So I'm not anti-ease or anti-flow by any means. What I am is I'm not willing to work for what I want. If you want this, you should be so excited to put in the work. That's the thing. Like, not that it is easy or joyful every moment, but it's so important to you that you're just willing to do it. You have to have that attitude. If you really want something on your vision board, you have to be able to show up with the all-in attitude, willingness to do whatever it takes, whatever you want to call it. But you know that feeling inside of you when you are like, sign me up. Whatever it takes, I'll show up. Because that's the energy that manifests. That's the energy that creates abundance. That's the energy that brings opportunities to you. Because that's the energy that takes action. And a huge part of manifestation is inspired action. It's taking the right actions that are going to move you closer. How do you know what they are? Well, this is perfect because it gets me to my third point, which is trusting what sparks your light. So the things that make you feel excited inside, the things that you think, I know maybe this seems counterintuitive, but I think that this is the best next step. The things that you're like, I know that this is an unusual hour and I normally hate working at this time, whether it's like first thing in the morning or late at night or on your lunch break at work. And you're like, I just really want to do this because I'm so excited about it. I want to work on this project. You have to listen to those things. That is literally the universe guiding you. You have to listen to what is exciting you, what is pulling at your energy, because that is guiding you to where you're meant to be. That is getting you closer to the path of least resistance. You're never going to manifest from an angry, miserable place. So if you're doing something that you hate, It's probably not something that should be on your vision board. And again, this gets so confusing because I think it can be misconstrued as you should love every part. There are plenty of things that I don't love about what I do. It's not perfect. But I do get really excited about my mission and my why and the work I do. I do get really excited to get my hands dirty. And I have a great example of this. So many of you know that Richie and I own an ice cream and water ice shop. And when we first bought the store, it just needed some extra love, really. That's what it needed, some extra love. And there was one particular Christmas parade, which is a big parade in our town, and the store is right at the center of town. And we had gone to the parade to rest with our families, relax, watch the parade. I was 8 months pregnant, so I was tired. I didn't want to be on my feet. And the store wasn't even open. This is the best part. The store was not open. We weren't selling anything. We were giving away ice cream for free. It was eggnog ice cream, holiday theme. Many of the businesses along the parade route would give away something for free as a token of gratitude for the holiday season for the customers that patronize the business all year. So we decided to do the same. So we had a little table out front of the store, and we had one employee there scooping free eggnog ice cream for anyone who wanted it. But I see these customers inside the store with no employee. So I say to Richie, you should probably go kick them out of the store. I don't think they should be in there without an employee. And at the time, we were open for the winter. So right now, years later, we're not open for the winter anymore. We have learned that there's just not enough demand for water ice, especially ice cream. There's a little bit more demand for in the winter, but it's not enough to sustain the business. So it just doesn't make sense for us. So we do close seasonally from Halloween to March 1st. But in this particular year, we were open, and it was really a tough winter. And so Richie's like, kick them out of the store. You better go serve them. Because for context, he hadn't worked in the store. I was working frequently in the store whenever we needed help because my career, being self-employed with my speaking business, is just more flexible than his corporate job. So I would work in the store, so I knew how to, do everything. So I'm like, oh, you're right. And I can tell you, was I like waking up that morning thinking, I just really want to work in the store? No, I wanted to sit on my 8-month pregnant butt and watch the parade. But here I was behind the counter. We worked tirelessly. Richie jumped in. I had to teach him on the go in real time because our employee was still outside giving away the free eggnog ice cream. But for some reason, people don't want eggnog. They want whatever they want. They want whatever's on their mind, and they're happy to pay a couple dollars for their mint chocolate chip or for their chocolate blizzard or whatever it is. So we worked tirelessly, a line out the door and down the block for 3 hours. We missed the entire parade. We were exhausted afterwards, but I can't tell you how fulfilled I felt, how proud I felt, how sparked I felt in that moment, despite being exhausted and despite it being so far from what I wanted to do that day. Why? Because that's what it takes. Our vision is to have a thriving store in our town. And that's what it takes. And when you are willing to do what it takes, that's when you create results. And our store is doing wonderfully because we step in, because we are willing. And that's the gas that it needs to succeed. And when you apply that energy to all things, that's when you create the most spark. So as we talk about doing the things that spark your light, and no, they're not always easy. Sometimes they're hard. Sometimes they fall in that category of willing to do what it takes, but they still spark your light. So I think it feels really confusing sometimes because, especially with manifestation, it's like, well, I don't feel like going to the gym. but going to the gym sparks my light. But there might be a day where going to the gym genuinely isn't a good choice for you for one reason or another. And the most spark your light thing you could do is make yourself a warm cup of chamomile tea and get a bubble bath and skip your workout, right? And so it really is so nuanced, and it's dependent on the way that you feel inside. But you have to be honest with yourself, and you have to be willing to do hard things. I talk about this a lot now, but I think our culture has moved so far towards everything should be easy and you shouldn't have to work hard. And they push a false ideal of what manifestation is, and I don't believe it. So I think that it's important to trust what sparks your light, and sparking your light things should be absolutely fun. But sometimes they feel like I felt that day in the ice cream shop where I wasn't really planning on doing that. I couldn't say it was what I wanted to do, but I wouldn't have wanted to be anywhere else in the world. And that's how I knew it sparked my light. You have to trust that feeling. So that's number 3. And number 4 is to surrender your timeline. So a lot of times with manifestation, we have this goal and we have a really specific vision in mind for when we want to achieve the goal by. I want to do XYZ by this date. I want to get promoted by July 1st. I want to buy a new car by the fall. I want to do XYZ. But when you're so obsessed with that timeline, you make the wrong decisions. When you're so obsessed with your vision and knowing you're going to have it no matter what, you make the right decisions. So I think it's very important to let go of instant gratification, to remember what we said for number 1, which was believing that it's possible for you. And maybe there's a timeline that works out better than you thought it would. I remember when I was trying to get pregnant with Michael, every time that the month would start, I would look at, what is 9 months from now and when would I be due? Because I was trying to coordinate my speaking calendar, which was quite difficult because some speaking gigs book out 12 months in advance sometimes. And I was so overwhelmed by this idea of I'm trying to have a baby. I don't want to have to immediately jump in to a speech or something going on. And little did I know that Michael was going to be in the hospital for 6 weeks and I was going to live there. But the universe had perfect timing, and it always does. The month I got pregnant, 9 months later, my due date was February 27th. My first speech that was already scheduled was March 24th. And I'm like, I guess it's fine. I guess it's fine. I'll be fine. It'll be a month later. Even though that's clearly not fine. I had a C-section. Luckily, it was not a speech that required flying. It just required driving. But Michael joined the world on February 7th. 3 weeks early. And that gave me actually a week at home with him before I went on the road for my first trip. And luckily it was only one night. Like I said, it was just a drive away. And my amazing mom, my travel partner, who I love to take with me on all my speeches if possible, she's the best, came with me. And she drove the whole way so I could pump the entire car ride. Literally. It was like every 15 minutes, pretty much, as such an early mom. And looking back, I just realized that it's always divine timing. It's always, is there something better? So I know it's easy to get caught up in your goals and the timelines and the dates and the plans. But the best things in my life have manifested not in my timeline, but in God's, and always in a timeline that is better for me than I realize. And I don't realize it until I'm looking back. And if you don't believe me, I want you to just take a second and look back at your life right now and think of the lifetime of evidence that you have of all of the things that you once wanted to work out, but they didn't work out then, but they later worked out even better. And looking back, you think to yourself, maybe I wasn't ready for that thing then. This ended up working out better for so many reasons, and you can see it so clearly now. We can't always see it when we're in the moment, which is why we need to rely on that lifetime of evidence to build our faith and our trust that we are being guided and that it is working out. And when we have that belief and that surrender to the timeline, whatever it is, then we're able to do those other three things. We're able to continue to believe it's possible, even if we haven't hit a goal by the deadline we set. We're able to continue to do what it takes, even if we can't see evidence that it's working. And we're able to follow our spark and still be excited about it because we trust the timeline we're on. So when you do all four of those things, magic happens, miracles happen, and that's when you really manifest all of the things on your vision board. So try these tips. I know they might not be a perfect little hack that you can fit into 5 minutes of your day. They're real. That's what it takes. It takes real life. I always say it takes courage and elbow grease. I recorded an episode titled that a couple of years back. And I think that's the perfect analogy. It takes a lot of courage, but it also takes a lot of elbow grease. So you got to be willing to do both. And I know you are, because you're here, you're listening, you're learning. And that's the first step. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Spark Your Light. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will catch you in the next episode.